Hi everyone, I'm Dae Shen and you can call me Shannon. I'm here presenting our work, VILA, improving structured content extraction from scientific PDFs using visual layout structures. This is joint work with many other awesome edu people, including Kyle, Lucy, Billy, Dan, and Doug. The goal of our paper is to build a better method for extracting structured data from paper PDFs. Given paper PDF as an input, we want to convert it into a JSON of paper metadata like title and abstracts. This task can be treated as like a token classification task. Typically, people will have some PDF parsers that convert the input file as a long text string and try to predict the semantic categories for each word or token in that string. And nowadays, bird-like models is usually the go-to options due to their exciting performances and ease of adaptation. Fine-tuning is just sufficiently good. However, as you can see here, the PDF string are actually messy and hard to parse. Can we have a better solution? Recently, a model called LayoutM that tries to use the token's 2D positions to improve this issue. For each word in the input, besides the typically used textual information, the LayoutM model also considers its 2D position. In this case, for the word construction, the coordinate of the top and left corner of the width and height is used in the modeling process. As such, in the LayoutM model, the text will be first embedded into the textual embedding. Also, it will add additional 2D representations for the corresponding word. Additional position information indeed brings performance improvements, leading to up to 2% macro F1 improvements in our task. However, as it injects the extra embedding information at the very beginning of the modeling process, it requires extra pre-training for the models. This process may take more than 1,000 hours, which is feasible but not ideal. We start to search for a better solution, and we identify one interesting aspect of the PDF documents. They are usually nicely laid out with visual layout groups, and let me explain here. We color the page with rectangular boxes of different colors, each denoting a region which conveys the same semantic information. If we take a closer look, there might be two types of visual layout groups, text lines and text blocks. Interestingly, all the words or tokens in the same group may have the similar semantic meanings or categories, and we call this token category uniformity assumption. We start to explore how the visual layout groups can help modeling. Figuratively, we're trying to add a pair of glasses for the bird models. We first implement the VILA model, which injects VILA as special indicator tokens. Inspired by recent work for adding structures in the model inputs, we add a special token BLK at the boundary of the visual layout groups. Shown in the illustration on the right side, the tokens between a pair of BLK usually have the same category, and the appearance of the BLK token may signal the changes in the semantic category. We test VILA models on 3 different datasets and compare it with the baseline LayoutM model. The numbers in the table are macro F1 scores measuring token classification accuracy. When using VILA in conjunction with LayoutM, we find that the F1 scores are consistently improved, either using text lines or text blocks VILA groups. We conclude that VILA can lead to consistent macro F1 improvements across datasets. We further test if VILA can be used with other models. We try with 3 additional bird-like models, including Distilbert, BERT, and Roberta. Please note, these 3 models are not layout-aware. They do not have layout information compared to LayoutM. We report the macro F1 scores for the fine-tune only version of the GrowTop dataset. And we also fine-tune these models with VILA using both text lines and blocks. VILA was able to improve the performance of all the baseline models, as you can see here, for text lines and text blocks. We conclude that VILA also works for different bird-like models without extra pre-training. If we take a closer look at the table, the fine-tuning BERT and Roberta with text block VILA groups achieves almost the same or even better performance compared to the baseline LLM method. This is very interesting, given that VILA can be used for simply upgrading these available models with simple fine-tuning, and can save the huge pre-training computational cost. Furthermore, VILA can also improve over the LLM method. This shows the potential for further improvements for other methods. To conclude, VILA method is generalizable and it can work on different datasets as well as different types of baseline models. Also, it is flexible. It can be used for upgrading non-layered model with simple fine-tuning and can further improve LLM models. Okay, we also try to use VILA in a different way. We develop a hierarchical model that encodes VILA structure during the model process, which we called HVILA, and let me explain to you. As you can see here, we show a paper snippet of 3 paragraphs or 3 text blocks. For each text block, we have the text and the box coordinates. We'll use a group encoder to encode the textual information of this block, as well as the position embedding to encode the position information there. The group encoder could be like a transformer layer, and we'll get a hidden representation H1 for this group. We'll repeat this process for all the visual groups in the snippet, getting H2 and HC. Subsequently, we will use a page encoder, something like a LLM, to encode all the group representation H into the latent representation S. And finally, we'll send this S into the classifier to classify the semantic categories. And the group category will be assigned to each token as the token level semantic category. We compare HVILA with other types of models. Compared to LLM, HVILA was able to reduce half of the inference time when using the text block VILA groups, and the markup F-from is almost the same. Okay, in practice, one might get VILA groups from different sources. For example, PDF parsing, visual layout detection, and even human annotation. These sources may have different levels of qualities, and it's very interesting to know whether the bad quality will have strong effects on the VILA model performance. In order to studies, we find some currently available datasets, including GrowTope and DocBank. It's great that they have super large data sizes, but unfortunately, they are created by automatic methods, which are error-prone and might not be perfect. And they only cover disciplines like life science, maths, physics, or CS, and missing other fields of studies like social science or art. We also check if they have VILA groups and find that they might only have VILA groups from one source or simply do not. We cannot run our study given these current datasets. Hence, we create a new benchmark suite called S2VLU. We firstly augment existing datasets, majorly adding VILA groups using vision model, also fix some other issues in the DocBank dataset. We also curate and release a new dataset called S2VL. It contains high-quality human annotations for the 1.3K samples. It also covers 19 disciplines and has VILA groups from all the 3 sources. Given this dataset, we can go back to our earlier question and study how VILA group quality influences modeling. As such, we compare different IVILA and HVILA models on the S2VL dataset. And we find that HVILA model is more dependent on the VILA group quality, given it has to make the same prediction for each VILA group. On the contrary, IVILA is more robust and the results are less variable using different sources. And of course, please check our paper for more detailed analysis if you are interested in. Finally, we use VILA models to analyze our own paper. We show that the predict token categories in color boxes and present results from both IVILA and LLM models. The VILA models was able to get all the predictions correct, which is great, including the table header indicated by error 1 and the caption region indicated by error 2. Okay, that's all for the talk. We present the iVILA and the HVILA models that can use visual layout groups to improve model performance without extra retraining. Our models datasets are available on GitHub or Hugging Face Hub, and feel free to contact me if you have more questions. Thank you very much.